What drove 9 seasoned hikers to slash open their own tent and flee into sub-zero darkness without proper clothing? This is the Dyatlov Pass incident, January 27, 1959. 9 students from the Ural Polytechnic Institute set out on a winter trek led by Igor Dyatlov. They were experienced in harsh terrain. And yet on February 26th, rescuers would find only their abandoned tent. When the search party arrived, they discovered the tent cut open from the inside, belongings untouched, boots and jackets left behind, and a trail of footprints leading away into the night. Over the next weeks, all 9 were found scattered across the mountainside. Investigators determined that most died of hypothermia, yet some bore unexplained and severe injuries, fractures consistent with high-impact forces without any external wounds visible. Theories abound. Was it a rare slab avalanche triggered by katabatic winds? Could infrasound-induced panic explain their flight? Did secret military tests in the area play a role? Or did something altogether stranger occur? Smithsonian Magazine. On February 2, 1959, experienced hikers set out across the northern Ural Mountains in northwest Russia. Their leader, 23-year-old Igor Dyatlov, had carefully planned the route and prepared the group for the journey. The students were all accomplished skiers and several had served in the military, trained for survival in harsh conditions. But even so, the weather forecast was grim, predicting temperatures as low as -40 degrees Fahrenheit. Undeterred, the group set off into the wilderness, their destination, Otorten, a peak nearly 1,700 meters above sea level. After 2 days of steady progress, the group made camp at the base of a neighboring peak, where they pitched a single large tent. That night, temperatures plummeted. As snow piled up around the tent, a violent wind began to howl across the mountainside. Then, in the early hours of February, something happened that would defy explanation. Sometime during the night, someone from inside the tent slashed it open from within. Several of the students stumbled from the tent into the frigid night air. Some were only wearing thin sweaters, underwear, or no clothes at all. They fled into the darkness, desperately stumbling through knee-deep snow. Rescuers would later find the tent abandoned on a slight rise in the terrain, cut open from the inside. The zipper was pulled down to the very bottom of the tent, exposing a large opening. On the ground nearby lay a pile of clothing, including 2 pairs of skis, suggesting that those who fled had done so in a hurry. 1 boot was missing. A cigarette, lighter and half-melted chocolate bar were found near the tent flap, hinting at a hasty departure. A ski track from one of the missing persons was found only 200 meters from the camp, while another set of tracks led towards the nearest village, Otorten. But these tracks ended abruptly after just 800 meters, offering no clues as to what happened to those who made them. The students' belongings lay undisturbed, their sleeping bags untouched, food supplies still present. It seemed strange that none of the students had bothered to gather their things. More perplexing was the condition of the tent. It was designed to withstand extreme weather conditions and had been properly secured. Yet someone had evidently panicked, slashing their way free from the safety of the tent and then fleeing into the blizzard. A search party was organized, combing the area for signs of the missing students. 4 days later, they found the first body. It was Yulia, lying face down in a ravine. Her hands were missing, her clothing was torn, her skis shattered. When rescuers reached the site, temperatures were well below freezing, and the snow was over 1 meter deep. Nearby, they discovered the remains of a campfire, indicating that Yulia may have attempted to warm herself before succumbing to the cold. She had evidently been dead for some time. Several days later, the searchers came across a second group of hikers, 3 men who had decided to retrace the steps of the students in the hopes of finding them. But they too had vanished. Rescuers discovered their tent, their skis, and their frozen bodies. One was lying face down in the snow, his trousers torn. Another was found with his ribs broken, his chest caved in. All three had perished from hypothermia. By now, over 300 people had joined the search effort, combing the snowy landscape for any sign of the missing students. Yet they found nothing but more bodies. In total, 9 students would be found dead, 8 men and 1 woman, each bearing the chilling evidence of hypothermia. 6 were discovered on the eastern flank of the mountain, 3 on the western side. Their injuries hinted at a horrific ordeal, a struggle against an unknown force. Several suffered from severe chest trauma, as if they had been crushed from the outside. One hiker had 13 broken ribs, another a collapsed lung. 2 others had multiple vertebral fractures, while a 9th hiker, Semyon, had suffered severe head trauma, his skull fractured as if from a massive blow. No external wounds were found on any of the bodies, suggesting that whatever force had caused these injuries had acted with terrifying speed and efficiency. Initially, investigators believed that avalanches had claimed the lives of the students, but that didn't explain the unusual injuries. A year later, the official report attributed the cause of death to a compelling natural force. Yet the true nature of this force remained a mystery. After the tragedy, various theories emerged. According to one, the group had been caught in a sudden avalanche that tore apart their tent and hurled them across the mountainside. But if this were the case, why were their bodies found whole and their belongings untouched? Another theory suggested that the students fell victim to infrasound, a type of low-frequency sound wave that can induce panic or disorientation in humans. While there are documented cases of infrasound causing distress, it is unlikely to trigger such extreme reactions. As for the severe trauma sustained by some of the victims, this has been attributed to secret military tests carried out in the area at the time. Soviet authorities reportedly conducted nuclear blasts and artillery drills in the region, and it is possible that some of the students' bodies were never recovered. Indeed, one witness reported seeing 6 helicopters hovering around the mountain peak at around the time the students disappeared. However, there is no concrete evidence to support the theory that the hikers were caught up in some kind of experiment gone wrong. More recently, researchers have turned to the unique properties of snow to shed light on the disaster. A 2021 study published in the Journal of Glaciology offered a potential explanation for the puzzling injuries sustained by some of the victims. Using advanced computer modeling, researchers demonstrated how an unusually timed avalanche could have swept snow in blocks, leaving minimal surface debris and inflicting the high impact forces seen in some of the victims. According to lead author Jeffrey Coronis, slab avalanches, which occur when a cohesive block of snow slides downhill, are relatively rare, accounting for only about 1% of avalanche incidents. However, they can be deadly due to the significant momentum they carry. In certain circumstances, a slab avalanche can slide over an air pocket or weak layer of snow, lifting up and fracturing as it moves. This could explain the catastrophic chest trauma observed in some of the victims. This theory is supported by the location of the bodies, which were found at the base of a steep slope. Had the students been caught in a conventional avalanche, their bodies might have been found higher up the mountainside. Furthermore, the team's computer model showed that the snow slabs could have moved at speeds of up to 75 miles per hour, enough force to cause internal injuries without leaving external marks. While this recent scientific insight offers a plausible explanation for the Dyatlov Pass incident, it does little to quell the lingering questions surrounding the events of that fateful night. If the students were indeed killed by a snow slab avalanche, why did their tent collapse without triggering an avalanche? Why did the students flee without gathering their belongings or attempting to seek shelter? And what caused the mysterious injuries to Semyon, whose skull was fractured as if from a tremendous blow? These chilling questions serve as a reminder that despite the efforts of researchers and investigators, the truth behind the Dyatlov Pass incident may forever remain elusive. The combination of extreme weather conditions, the isolated terrain, and the lack of conclusive evidence has allowed countless theories to flourish, each offering a different interpretation of the tragedy. As we reflect on this harrowing tale, we are left to ponder the mysteries that continue to surround the Dyatlov Pass incident. The deaths of these 9 students serve as a haunting reminder of the power of nature and the limits of human understanding. If this sends shivers down your spine, like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more Midnight Verdict investigations. Until next time, stay safe and keep questioning.